Hi, Tile from Fidelity here. Today we're going to talk about kind of an unusual headphone. This is the Master and Dynamic MH40. This is a $399 headphone. It's made by a company in New York. This is a sealed, full-size, around-the-ear headphone. It's made of very nice materials. This is real cowhide leather on the outside with a lambskin leather on the inside, lambskin leather ear pads, memory foam, ear cushions. The ear cushions are magnetically attached, so they're easy to replace. The build is just a very nice construction. One of the things that I found was the headband pad is a little bit thin, but it's such a sturdy construction that you can work on making the bend at the top curve a little bit harder. Then you can on the outside straighten them a little bit to relieve the pressure, and that allows it to more closely conform to the top of your head when you put it on there, and made it substantially more comfortable for me. The ear cushions are fairly deep and large size, maybe a little small in this dimension, and I did have just a touch, well, my ears just touched here. They didn't feel crowded at all. So I'd say they're ample size pads. Not going to really have too much of a problem being able to fit your ears in there unless you have very, very large ears indeed. The cable that comes with it has a separate microphone and remote control on it, which is handy because it keeps the microphone rather near your mouth while the remote control is farther down the cable. The cable is terminated on both ends with 3.5 millimeter tip ring sleeve plug, and the unit does come with a nice matching 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter. Cable's 52 inches long, which is just about right for a mobile cable, a phone cable. There's also a plain cable that comes with it. It's a little bit longer at 2 meters, close to 7 feet, and it is stored in this handy-dandy little leather case, which is nice. The headphones also come with a leather pouch for carrying, and the ear pads can rotate flat and then be stored in this leather pouch that has a metal opening on the front that keeps it open. It's a fairly sturdy leather pouch, or canvas pouch, excuse me, but I really would have rather seen a hard-sided case for this. The shipping box does have inside a fairly sturdy cardboard case with a fairly sturdy and looks like a long-lived foam insert in there that's cut out to fit the headphones. So I think it really does do a good job at home anyway of protecting the headphones. And again, this canvas case, even though it's soft-sided, is fairly durable. So not too many knocks on that. Now we get to some of the problems I had with this headphone. One is that the cable comes directly out of the bottom of the earpiece, which means that if I'm wearing a coat, the cable interferes pretty strongly with the collar. I can also, if I could tilt my head to this side, touch my shoulder, and so you do get some cable rubbing noise from that. Now the thing is that the other problem I had is that these headphones seal against your ears very, very well. They have an extremely strong seal, and what that does is it causes any pressure changes in that chamber to be heard as sound, which means that any mechanical rubbing from this fabric covered cable, which is a nice fabric covered cable, but it also makes it rough as it's moving against your collar, So this highly sealed nature of these headphones does make them louder, or does make mechanical noise from the outside louder. Also mechanical noise from the inside if you're chewing on something, or if you're laying in bed at night and do a little snorty sound or something like that before you go to sleep. That could be heard fairly loudly in these headphones. You can hear your heartbeat sometimes. So it's a little unusual in that regard. Also, the amount of bass, and really the amount of the whole mids and bass go up and down with how tightly these seal. So if you have some hair in the way, or your arms of the glasses are breaking the seal can be a little intermittent, and it can cause the sound of the headphones to change somewhat, depending on whether you achieve the seal or not. And also, these mechanisms on the post, while it slides up and down easily, the turning mechanism and also this mechanism, which is a little stiff, are a little uneven, and it means that when you put the headphones on at first, you usually got to do a little fidgeting to get it to adjust right, so that you have that nice consistent seal. Sound quality wise, they're very unusual. While there's some problems with this seal, this strong seal on the headphone also seems to have the benefit of making the headphones sound very dynamic. Now, these headphones, I wouldn't call them refined or very even sounding. They do have some bumps and wiggles in their frequency response. The bass is slightly elevated from the mid-range, but I would say it's in line with the Harman target response curves. It's only a few dB elevated, and I would characterize the mid and the bass and the mids as relatively neutral in their character. The bass emphasis does bleed ever so slightly into the mids and may make the mids a tad thick, but really and then the other thing, on the top end of the mids, they rise up a little bit as they approach 1K, and so the mids as a whole have a little bit of a dip in it, which just causes them to be a little lackluster sounding, and lack this sort of organic, layered smoothness, liquidity to it. So it doesn't really quite have that. However, because of this tight seal and good bass emphasis, just about the right amount, they sound very, very dynamic. This is maybe the most dynamic sounding headphone I've ever heard. Also, the rising up in the top of the treble makes them ever so slightly shouty sounding, but that shouty character also translates into a certain dynamism. After we get into the treble, they do roll off some, and they have a big notch at 6K. They come back at about 10K, and then they roll off again a moderate amount. All in all, the treble is a little relaxed sounding, but has a nice snappy character to it. Now, it doesn't have the kind of resolution that the NAD Viso HP50 had, or the Focal Spirit Pro had. Both those headphones have a much smoother transition, or much smoother response overall, and they sound more liquid, but they sound in some ways thin in comparison to these headphones, which have this incredible punchy character to them. The treble response is a little artificial because it misses that area at 6K. Cymbals and whatnot can have a little bit of a papery sound to them, but they're not strident or harsh or anything. They're just about right at level, maybe a little bit rolled off from what I would characterize as neutral. So all in all, again, what you are left with is, although they're not refined and extraordinarily liquid sounding, they are just extraordinarily punchy and dynamic sounding. And so these headphones are sort of like having a jazz band, sitting knee to knee with the front instrument in a jazz band, with the lead sax player. Just a really powerful, intense experience. And for that, and the fact that their flaws, even though they are flawed, the flaws add up in a good way. I'm definitely going to recommend these as an exciting listen without being overly brash or harsh or overly have too much bass emphasis. Just a really exciting listening session with these headphones, even though they lack a little bit of refinement. So I'm going to give them a hearty thumbs up. And yeah, this is a headphone I like, and I happily recommend it at $399. Certainly has the build quality to back up the price tag, and a terrifically fun listening experience. So the Master and Dynamic MH40 at $399. Hope you get a chance to listen to these sometime real soon, because they're a lot of fun. And we'll see you next time.